All right, everyone, this is a quick video on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra Basics. We should be looking at the tools inside of Blackboard Collaborate Ultra after we've already created our session. So we join our session, and obviously we are the only person here. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the session menu. There's a few things that I want to highlight. Firstly is a tutorial that is already in here. This will introduce you to Collaborate as well as private chat tools. So this is a self-paced tutorial, and you can go through the tutorial and learn about the basic things there and be able to understand all the tools that you need. The other thing I want to bring your attention to is starting recording. When you are teaching a synchronous lesson to students and you want it to be available after the fact, especially direct instruction to students that they will need to know so they can access it later, is record the sessions so everybody has access to it. There will be a red dot inside of a camera when the recording is in progress, and once you finish teaching, you'll stop the recording, and an email of the recording will be sent to you, a link to access that is also available in your scheduler dashboard, which I'll show you at the end. Lastly, there is an option for you to use your phone as audio and microphone tools during the Blackboard Collaborate sessions. I would say don't give this number and pin to anybody else. What the idea is, if you can call in and give this pin, it'll take over your microphone and speakers and give it to your phone. The problem is when you give this to someone else and they call it in, then it takes your access and it gives it to them. So I had a meeting in the spring where I gave that number to a colleague who couldn't attend the meeting on their computer. So I gave the number, and then we had to kind of halt the meeting because I was not able to speak or hear anything and it was my meeting, so it was kind of not a good way to meet with a parent. Anyway, I'm going to bring your attention to the bottom, which is my status and settings. Every student, when they log in, has this ability or has this toolbox here. You can step away from the screen. By pressing away, it turns off your microphone and your camera. And then whenever you come back, you can just press I'm back, and you can self-select your microphone and camera. You can leave the session quickly here. One of my favorite things is the feedback tools, saying to a class, agree or disagree with the following statement. Say this statement, then they can agree or disagree, and it's timed so you can see slowly. It'll go away. If you want to clear it quicker, you can press clear. If you want to say, how is everyone feeling this morning? And some people can say they're confused, some people can say they're happy. Anything works, but yeah, as you can see, it'll go away after about 20 seconds. You can share your audio. This is an important thing. If you're talking to a group of students, you want them to hear you, and you can tell by the filling up with white that you are being heard. Since I am doing a video tutorial, it will not allow me to access the video preview, but you should have a preview of what you look like here. Just by pressing the share video doesn't make your video come up. You actually have to press share video again to then have everybody see you. So that's another important thing to know. Raising your hand feature is a great tool to have your students practice, appropriate classroom behavior or different routines and procedures. So having them raise their hand, and you can lower students' hands. They can also lower their own hand by pressing that. So that's an important thing to know. I'll go to this right panel, which is your Collaborate panel. The first thing you're going to look at is the chat, which is with everyone, is the normal place where it first pops up. It says no chat messages here. This is a way for your students to access chat with one another, chat with you. You can turn the chat off. You can turn off microphones, and you can turn off cameras. So that's something to know for everyone as well. You have your attendees list. This will give you attendee controls. You can make people different things. So I'm the only one here, but I can make people and I can't make myself something, but you can make someone a presenter, a moderator, a captioner. You can also lower their hand, raise their hand, turn off their microphone, kick them out from a session. I don't recommend doing that because it just causes concerns to them, and then they are confused. So one of my recommendations actually for attendees while I have you here is you can detach the panel either by pressing detach panel here, or you can actually drag this out and drop the panel here. I like having the attendees here because you can see whoever's in the meeting always, especially if you want to share content, which will be our next area. So we can see the attendees at all times. So if we're raising our hand, you can see and it pops up there. A hand is raised, and I can then lower that hand from here as well. So I'll put that back just for the time being. We can share content. We can share a whiteboard, which you can turn on and turn off as well. Their ability to draw and write. The drawing tools are here. The pencil. They can also write with the text tool. They can make shapes and various other things. They can change the colors. One thing that's difficult for them is to erase. The way they can erase is by selecting items that they have and pressing delete. They shouldn't have an erase tool, but this clears the entire board. So if you're wanting to just erase something, don't click that. If you want to erase one specific thing, like let's say a student is writing all over your board, then you don't want to erase everyone else's work that's putting answers in, like I don't know, I want to eat corn for dinner. So let's say that they want this, and someone is annoyed that they drew all over it. Well, you can just erase that by clicking the select tool, selecting it, and then clicking delete. Like I said, students can change the pressing delete. I guess it's not letting me click delete, so I'll just drag it out. All right, so you can have students change the colors of anything they want. So if I'm going to draw something and make it where it says my name, okay, I want it in red. Now here's the other thing that's important to know is show view controls. If you have a file or even a whiteboard that you want students to be able to access, and you want they are having a hard time seeing, ask them to zoom in. Okay, this should be able to, they can use their select tool and then just drag the whiteboard wherever they need to, so they can see what is there. To be able to see a best fit, they can click the best fit. All right, to stop sharing your content, you're going to click the stop button in the top right corner. You can share your application or screen. You'll notice there's a preview of your screen here when you're sharing your entire screen. Your application windows, there's various windows I have open, or Chrome tabs, okay? What I recommend is either application window or entire screen. Entire screen does get this cascading effect, which is okay. The students will see it if you're broadcasting your Blackboard Collaborate screen, but hopefully you're going to jump to another tab. So I'll show you in a moment what that'll look like, but I want to make sure you guys can see is that you can also share audio. Let's say you're watching a positivity project YouTube video, and you want to have not your microphone pick up the sound, but you want the actual audio to be shared to the computer of the student. So you'll just click share audio, and it'll be a much better user experience. So anyway, I'm going to click share screen here because otherwise they don't see anything until I click share. You'll see the cascading effect on my desktop right here because I'm sharing once again Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. It will look like this. Nothing to be alarmed about. Students might say, "Whoa, what's wrong?" Nothing's wrong. You're just showing a share of a share of a share of a share as it continues to go down. So I'll just show you. They can see now your screen, and there's the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is sharing your screen and audio. So then you can stop sharing your screen and go back to that tab that you had open. Okay. So that was share application or screen. You can share your camera, which is because I have it turned off. But you can also share files. Loading files into here is a really great tool, especially if you have PDFs your students need to access. I've done this in the past with reading passages. We can load reading files in here and then have students read them on the screen, and you would just share them now. We can also do polling. I love polling. You can either do yes or no. Did you sleep well last night? and then you can start the poll, and then it pops up as either yes or no. You as an attendee, notice I'm the only person, you do get a response. So if you're waiting for people to log in, you're like, I still have one person that hasn't answered. That person is oftentimes you. So did you sleep well last night? Not really. So I'll answer that. No one can see the answers except for myself. As you notice, the attendees, it'll say Y or N next to the name. The students can change their option until you lock the poll. Once you lock the poll, it shows the results only then to students, and I do not believe it shows, only moderators can see what was chosen. Participants cannot see who chose what. So this will just give you raw data. It's good for quick checks of information, making sure that people are understanding things. And then you can also do multiple choice and adding them in here. These I would get set for the very beginning of class. I think you can have up to 5 options. Yeah, and you can delete them right there. And this is a great way to get to know, build community, important stuff there. Also, next thing I want you to show you is breakout groups, which is something that's really important. It's hard to do with one person, but you can break people into smaller groups to talk with them. You can drag them into certain groups, or you can click on these buttons and then tell you which one they go to. You can randomly assign groups. If you had more than one person, it would be not custom assignment, but it would be random assignment. And then just pop them into rooms to talk about something you're discussing as a class, or any other thing you want. But it gets them into a small group, and you can start, and it says breakout sessions are starting. And then you will be in your own room, and the moderator has the ability to stop the breakout groups, and it'll just kick everybody back into the main room, which is a great way to bring everybody back, literally, to the main space. Last but not least, this is actually probably something I should have done first, is the settings. This is very important. I'll just start at the top and move down. Audio and video settings. Once again, setting up your camera and microphone, making sure that you have, if you have headphones in or AirPods or anything like that, different headset, you need to make sure that your microphone is correct. Right now I'm just on my defaults, so yes, my audio is working. And then I have my integrated webcam. If you have a separate webcam or a document cam, this is how you can switch between cameras. This is an important thing. Yes, the video is working, even though you can't see it. It's a preview right there normally. Using audio to call in, we already talked about that. Speaker volume. It's important if you're in multiple tabs, but if you just want to turn everything down, if people are like, I can't hear you, see if they check their speaker volume. And they can always drag their speaker volume up to 100%. If for some reason they had dragged it down, they wouldn't be able to hear anything in the meeting, and it can be quite frustrating for kids. So just one area to check. Notification settings is important. If you want to turn different notifications on or off, just reading through when someone joins or left the breakout group, you can have an audio notification. It'll bring audio to the party. I don't love having audio notifications for some of these things. For chat audio notifications are kind of annoying because it's just a tap tap tap. If you have a lot of chatting going on, it's a tapping sound. You can turn it off and it won't be as bothersome. I get distracted easily by audio, and then someone raising your hand has a specific audio, which I actually find kind of helpful. So you can change those settings to anything you want as notification settings. And once again, this is where it's important. The participant settings and permissions is you can turn audio, video, chat, and whiteboard files off, or being able to draw on them. If you want to turn just video on or turn just audio on, you can do that. Any of these settings are live when you set up sessions. When you leave a session, I would make sure you turn those off before you leave. And then I will leave the session, and I will show you, it always will ask you how your session was. I often skip it, but you can say it was good. And it's just a survey, but I often skip it. So now to my Blackboard Collaborate Ultra scheduler account. here we have personal information, we have our sessions, these are my various sessions, and then my recordings. You'll see a few recordings. I've tried this video a few different times and failed multiple times, but these are what the session had recorded. And then you can share this or download it or watch it or copy the link and then share it somewhere on your Google Classroom. So that is the Blackboard Collaborate Basics with recommendations. So email if you have any questions.